Everyone, I'm Allison with Green Goddess Plants and Seeds, and welcome to another garden chat. It's beastly, dangerously cold outside today. We were outside. We had to go out into town and just to pick up a few things, but it's the kind of day where you really don't want to be outside unless you absolutely have to be outside, because it's just beastly cold. Like our daytime high today was minus 28 or something like that, which I think is probably about minus 20 Fahrenheit, and the overnight low tonight is supposed to drop to like minus 35, minus 38 by morning. So it's when you factor in the wind chill, that's like minus 40 or something. So it's just going to be an all around beastly cold. So the hot weather we had this summer is being balanced out now, but it's absolutely dangerously cold weather that we're having now. So I've been hunkering down inside. I've got a day off today, so thankfully I don't have to go anywhere. But one of the things that I've been doing today is I've been kind of organizing my seeds a little bit. It's kind of a good day for that. So I've been going through my seed boxes, and I'm starting to think about what I want to plant for my plant sale in the spring. I've got lots of time to think about that, but I'm just kind of starting to really think about it and make some plans and make some choices. I usually start my tomato seeds around mid-March. That's usually about early enough. If I don't like to do it too early, because then they get too big and too leggy. But like a lot of people, I have my seeds organized in one of these seed keepers. Very handy. Lots of gardeners keep their seeds in that, so I'm the same. And this year, though, I found that I need to create a sort of quick reference index that so I can see at a glance what I've got in my seed boxes. So was working on that. So I've got my list. Earlier in the fall, I created my database list. So I just took that and transferred it into another Word document so that I've got a quick reference, and I'm going to get Glenn to print it off for me so I can have it inside the case so that it's right there. When I want to see what I've got, I can just take a look at that list, and it's really quick. So I've got 2 cases that I've labeled with my grow outs for this year. So these are my potential grow outs, and nothing's finalized, but I know for this spring, with the increase in people gardening and wanting to grow their own food, there's going to be an increase in the interest of preserving that food, whether it's canning or drying or pickling, fermentation, whatever. There's going to be a huge interest in that. I think when you're gardening, that kind of goes hand in hand. The whole preserving kind of goes hand in hand with the gardening, especially if you're growing a big garden and you're wanting to grow food for your family for a year or whatever. So with my plant sale, like my plant sale started mainly with tomatoes, and so that is the main focus of my plant sale are the tomatoes. And I'm trying to build a bit of a reputation for growing some of the varieties that you won't find in your average garden center. And this, in the past years, I've kind of leaned a lot towards a lot of the antho colored varieties, like the blue-black ones, like the Black Beauty, the Blue Beauty, the Carbons, the Cherokee Purples, the Helsing Junction Blues, and ones with a nice antho coloring. This year, I think I'm going to veer away from that. I mean, they're cool to look at, but they weren't great sellers. I mean, some people were interested, and I had one lady come up specifically looking for the Black Beauties. So, but they're not a good seller. So this year, with keeping in mind that increase in interest in gardening and preserving and canning and that whole thing, I'm going to focus my selections on good canning varieties. And I've already acquired quite a few. I've had that in mind late last spring, and I picked up quite a few seed packets at that time, and I do have more on order already. I've placed a few seed orders, and actually one of them has arrived, so we'll do that in a bit. We'll do an opening of the seed order later. Yeah, so the other thing that I've tried to create is a quick list I've just written this out by hand of the good canning varieties that I've already got on hand in my boxes, so I can, see which ones I like to grow out. Ideally, it'd be great to grow all of them out, but I am trying to keep the number of varieties that I grow between 30 and 40. I do have seeds for over 100 different varieties of tomatoes, and when the new seeds arrive, that'll go up. That number will go up. So to grow all of them out would be too unwieldy, and we'd probably end up with way too many leftover plants at the end of my plant sale and whatnot. So I am trying to balance out, having enough plants for the plant sale, but not having too many left over that we're overwhelmed with them. So yeah, so it's a bit of a balancing act, and trying to figure out how many to start and what to start. I know around here, the Manitoba tomatoes are very popular, which I will grow. I do grow some that are readily available everywhere, like the Manitobas, but they are actually considered to be an heirloom now, the Manitobas. But on my list, I do have some other ones. Like I've got the Bonnie Best, I've got the Rutgers, I've got Fireball, I've got Livingston's Paragon, Trophy. I do have some paste tomatoes. I've got San Marzanos. I've got Aria, which is my personal favorite paste tomato, which is it's elongated paste. On order, hopefully arriving soon, is the Jersey Devil. But yeah, I'll have to go through and kind of make my selections and trying to figure out which ones will make the final cut and which ones will have to wait. And then of course it will be how many of each plant to grow. Like I said, with the Manitobas, I'll probably end up growing at least 24 of those, and then the rest maybe only do maybe 5 plants of each of the rest, maybe. It's hard to say. But yeah, because this is like the canning varieties are only part of what I've got. Like I've got all kinds. I've got a large number of cherry tomato varieties. But my personal favorites are the yellow and the orange varieties. I love the yellow tomatoes. They just look so bright and cheerful in the garden. Last year, however, probably the most stunning tomato that I had in the garden was the Black Beauty, because they actually turned almost 100% black. Like they had enough exposure to the sunlight that the fruit was almost entirely black, except for maybe a small spot on the bottom that the sunlight didn't catch. And of course they were loaded. I had probably about 6 plants of these Black Beauties, and they were just loaded with nice big fruit, and they were just so dramatic looking with this black fruit hanging off them. It looked fantastic. So those might make another repeat show on my plant sale list. Like every year my growths change. Like I don't necessarily grow always the same ones. I always change it up, just for the variety, just for the sake of variety, and just to get some other ones out of my seed box and into the ground. And I know one that I do want to kind of try growing out here is the German red strawberry. I grew it a number of years ago. The last time I grew it out was probably 2015. I didn't have a good experience with it. Like the plants grew, they were big and tall and kind of leggy looking and wispy, and but they weren't really overly productive like the description said they were. And I think only got maybe 2 or 3 nice big tomatoes off of the plants, and that was it. And I did discover that they seem to be prone to blossom and rot too. So that's one variety that I do want to try growing out here at the farm rather than in the city. So I want to see if there's a difference, because the tomatoes grown out here at Glenn's place are just amazing. Like they do so much better out here than they do in my city garden. So that's kind of what I'm doing today. It is a cold end to the December, a very cold end to the year, and I'll be driving into Saskatoon on New Year's Eve to spend New Year's with my sister, and I have a bit of a family gathering there that on the weekend with my brother as well and his family. So we'll have a good visit before things get too busy in the new year. But anyway, let's get to some seeds. I was so excited. I was hoping these would arrive before the year was out. These are the seeds that I ordered from the Croatian Seed Store. So it's obviously in Europe. I ordered for the first time from them last year. Good experience, you know, within like 24 hours they were in the mail. I mean, it did take, once they were in the mail, of course, it did take like a month to get here because, you know, they're coming from Europe and all that. But they were processed very fast. I was quite happy and impressed with that. So I didn't order a lot. Like I'm always worried about ordering outside of North America when it comes to seeds, because you never know what'll happen, and you never know if they'll make it through customs or not. So I only ordered a few things. Oddly enough, I actually ordered more peppers, hot peppers this time instead of tomatoes, which is unusual for me because usually I'm big on the tomatoes. But this time I ordered some peppers. So let's open this up carefully because I don't want to wreck anything. So let's see what we got. Oh, this year they actually send an invoice. No, that's just a piece of paper. So no invoice. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Let's see what we got here. So for tomatoes, I've got Wolverine. Yes, we are kind of geeks here. We like our superhero films and Star Wars and everything like that. So I've got Wolverine Tomato. And the Wolverine Tomato, I wrote out the description so I could tell you what it is. Wolverine Tomato, it is a beefsteak type tomato, and it is yellow with some blue and purple antho coloring mostly on the top, on the shoulders. So there's that one. We've got Rebel Alliance, haha, Star Wars. So this one it's a smaller fruited one, Rebel Alliance, and it is a cherry heart-shaped tomato and it's supposed to be like a darker red, almost like a chocolate brown type color. So that might be interesting to try. I'm looking forward to that. And then the last one is the Scottish Early. And so this is a larger beefsteak tomato with, again, it's sort of like a dark red, chocolate brown type coloring. So those are the tomatoes. Those are the only 3 tomatoes I ordered from them. So that was kind of unusual for me not to order more. And then for peppers, I've got Thor's Thunderbolt. And Thor's Thunderbolt is supposed to be like a dark purple, and it's supposed to change to like a peachy pink color. It looked really cool. Of course, Thor is awesome. And it is supposed to be a very, very hot pepper. It's supposed to be like on the scale of the Bootjolokia, I think it is. So it's a very hot one. And then I've got Pink Tiger. And it's another pretty one. I go for, you know, if it looks pretty, you know, I'm going to order it, right? You know, I'm all about aesthetics. But the Pink Tiger, so it's another sort of dark purpley pink, peachy colored one. It's another hot one, really hot. And then the last 2, I've got the Cayenne Yellow and the Cayenne Purple. So the Cayenne peppers are my favorite peppers. They're the ones that I use the most in the kitchen, because I will dry them whole, and then, you know, I'll just keep them in a glass jar, a big glass jar on the kitchen counter, and I'll crush one and I'll put it in. And, you know, if I'm making soup stock or if I'm cooking rice, I will actually crush one and put it in with the rice while it's cooking, and so I get spicy rice. And yeah, so first seeds of the season, yay! So excited. So I have placed a few more seed orders. I've ordered from Baker Creek, I've ordered from Tomato Fest, and I've ordered from Spitfire Chilies. So hopefully all those will arrive fairly soon. I do have more orders to place. There are some other places that I want to order from that I've got seeds in my either wish list or shopping cart. So I just got to wait for the money to show up before I can order more stuff. But anyway, I'm so happy my seeds have arrived. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful post-Christmas week. I hope you have a wonderful new year. I probably won't talk to you again before New Year's, so I'm going to wish you a very happy New Year. Stay safe, stay warm. If you're still gardening, awesome, good for you. And if you're like me, where it's snowy and cold, you know, it's okay. We'll all, the rest of us will curl up with a cup of tea and watch the snowfall. Anyway, happy New Year. Take care. See you next year.